I consulted with both Moritz and also with Bing about what to do about my rear suspension. Our conclusion with the three of us is I'm just gonna go for it. Good morning internet, it is 9:20 in the morning and welcome back to the channel. Welcome here to Turpan, China. I was really excited about today, but then when I reached Frankie I got a little bit less excited. I spotted some oil right underneath Frankie and I'm thinking, oh no. And then I check, it's not engine oil, but I've blown my rear shock, my rear suspension. I'll show you. See, there is the suspicious puddle. And then I looked up and you see, it's actually, you see it even dripping from there. But this is all wet. The whole sock, which is around the rear suspension, is soaked in oil as well.
You can feel that, right?
Yeah.
What is going to happen?
But yesterday I didn't notice it.
You won't really notice it because the leak here, the oil can last at least a few days.
Yeah. And yesterday I didn't have any luggage. Yeah, so this is not bueno, I have to say. Frankie and I have been on a good run. I mean, Frankie has just been perfect. I haven't had any trouble. But I suppose it's not really Frankie's fault. This just happens, you know. On Alaska I several times blew the front fork seal. But I think this is the first time I've blown my rear shock, right? I'm thinking now, has this ever happened before on another bike? This happened on Basanti, I can't remember. I don't think so. I think this is the first time that I've had a rear shock blown. But I carry a lot of parts with me, but I don't have any rear shock parts with me. Yeah, right now I can't really do anything about it. We kind of need to leave today. That's the thing, my journey through China. We really are on a tight schedule. And that has to do with, well, both visa and also the papers for Frankie, you know. They're gonna expire soon. And so it also means that this is not the place to order a part and then wait for weeks for it or something. Like, that's just not gonna happen here. I need to make it out of China. Yeah, I do have to say also, if you've seen the video where we changed the tires, right now I don't have, oh, I didn't tie my helmet. I don't have so much faith in mechanics. Okay, it's not fair after one bad experience to now think that every motorcycle mechanic in China is bad. That's obviously not the case. But I'm a little bit hesitant to let anyone touch Frankie at the moment. And on top of that, yeah, because there's no old motorcycles in China, remember the rule, if your motorbike is older than 13 years, 13, you can't ride it anymore in China. So they do not have any motorcycles on the road riding that are older than 13 years, let alone that they have something like Frankie. We have reached the oldest village in Xinjiang. Well, the oldest still existing village, I suppose. This place has been here for well over 2,000 years. I believe 2,600 years has this village been here. I really like the windows that they have in the houses here. When we stop, I'll show you from a bit closer up. See, these are the windows I wanted to show you. Cool, right? They just are only made of wood. So I am now at the Grand Mosque of Turpan, which is one of the oldest in the region. It dates back to the 15th century and is still a place of active worship. And there is a lot of Uyghurs that will actually make a pilgrimage to this mosque because, well, they can't travel to Saudi Arabia. People here don't actually own passports, so they will never be able to make Hajj to Saudi Arabia. So that's why they'll come to this mosque as a pilgrimage. Actually think that anybody still lives in this part of the village. It's completely empty. There's nobody here. I got the feeling that all these houses here are actually empty. What's here? Just now wandering through the empty house. I don't really know what each room was used for. I'm thinking, see, this is a bit of a raised platform. Maybe they were sleeping here. Maybe this was a bedroom. See, you put your clothes here. See, it's all empty, but every room has like a little raised platform. I think it would have been a seating and sleeping area. Reminds me a bit of the houses in Tajikistan, you know, the Pamiri houses. See here as well. Let's go here. I'm slowly getting also a little bit lost in the mazes here. Maybe this is where they kept animals. This looks like a, I don't know, a sink or something. Kitchen, maybe. See, it's just a bit of a maze here. I've just come out of there. And then the village just continues all the way here. Also here they are growing a lot of grapes and also producing raisins again, just like in Turpan. So the valley around this village has a lot of Buddhist caves that were carved in the cliffs here. They're called the Tuyugu grottos. There are a couple of caves there that date back from the 4th till the 14th century. Now unfortunately most of them, including the frescoes and the Buddha statues that were there, were all destroyed during what's called the China Cultural Revolution. And that is a period between 1966 and 1976. And it was under the rule of Mao Zedong. And he mobilized the Red Guards to eradicate what he called the four olds. Old ideas, old culture, old customs and old habits. And basically it meant that all over China there was a mass destruction of ancient temples, ancient libraries, historical artifacts, all sorts of symbols from the past, including these caves here, these old Buddhist caves. So it's extremely sad part of history, and in only 10 years time, so much of the old cultural history of China got destroyed all over the country. There are a couple of caves there. This is one of the caves. You can see most has been destroyed, unfortunately. There used to be a Buddha image here. So I've climbed up. I am now not even halfway up the cliff, and this is where a lot of the caves are. I'm now standing in one of the ancient Buddha caves. But there are, I think there are nearly 100 caves in this canyon alone. See, over there's more caves, but you can't climb up there. Maybe they're building a stairs right now. So there were 2 caves there that actually still had a lot of frescoes inside, but half of it was damaged, but half of it was still there, but I wasn't allowed to film in those. And there was a man making sure I didn't. So I can't show you, but that was really amazing to see. I'm glad that some of it survived, you know. Some of it is still there. It's really incredible. Yeah, I visited quite a few places with, you know, monasteries or places where Buddhist monks would go and meditate in caves, and they always pick the most peaceful places. I think this is original. See, there's like, this is not a water slide, but I'm sure this was to create a stream so they could easily collect water coming from the mountain. Amazing. What a place. Really, really pretty. It is getting quite hot now though. So I'm gonna find Bing and get back to Frankie. Hopefully Frankie didn't leave a whole puddle of fork oil on the parking lot. Bing and I are just having a coffee, and I just asked Bing to explain a little bit about the tones in Chinese, because, well, as a foreigner, it's really difficult to understand the different tones. And only now I learned that, so Bing speaks Mandarin. There's also people in China that speak Cantonese, which is apparently even more complicated. So maybe Bing can explain a little bit how it works with the different tones. So in Mandarin, how many different tones are there?
In Mandarin, we have 5 tones: flat, up, corner, and down. That's the basic 4 tones.
4?
And we have a neutral.
Okay.
Right. So the neutral is usually for the question, or at the end of the a sentence when you speak, to make it different, make it more subtle, and to express your tone, right? and your mood, you know, like a tang, 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 tang. Can you tell the difference?
So tang, tang, tang. No.
Say tang,
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 tang.
tang. Absolutely, like a tang, tang. That's
So,
different, right?
what are the meanings in these four? The different meanings. So, what were you trying to order?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to order sugar, right?
Sugar. Okay.
Can I get some sugar?
Yeah.
I say, oh, 我可以要一些糖吗? Can I get some 糖?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you have to pronounce 糖. So if you pronounce like 糖 differently, then you get a soup, because 糖 is flat,
Yeah.
and which is
Yeah.
for soup in Chinese. 糖.
And then in Cantonese, they
Then
have
it has 8 tones.
8 tones.
Yeah, it's much more complicated. Yeah.
Wow.
Cantonese, and the pronunciation also different from Mandarin.
How many people in China speak Cantonese?
100 million.
100 million.
Yeah,
maybe.
could be.
And then there's maybe like 1 billion people speaking Mandarin, and
Yeah.
then the rest is minority languages,
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
Right, that was to Yugu. Ah yeah, see, I was saying they also make raisins here, right? This is where they dry the grapes to do that. So we will now ride through the canyon, right past where the Buddha caves are. I'm now kind of riding on top of the cliff on the other side. See, down there are the caves where I just went. This is the next village, which I'm guessing has been here for a really long time as well. Grapes everywhere. We are looking for a restaurant to have some lunch. I think we're gonna eat at a Sichuan restaurant, not a Uyghur. Is this Sichuan?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I thought so. Good. Of course, we ordered some aubergine because that's my favorite. We ordered another favorite, Kung Pao chicken. Bing ordered some Chinese dessert because I always complain there's nothing sweet.
That's correct, yeah. So I ordered some.
Do you know what is this?
This is a fried sticky rice.
Fried sticky rice.
Yeah.
That's the
It's made
dessert.
from sticky rice and flour.
But you said it's sweet.
It's very sweet.
Very sweet.
Let me check. What is this? Can I? It's deep.
Soy sauce.
Brown sugar.
Ah, this is brown sugar.
Yeah. So you
And
can
this-
either choose this sauce or this one. This is like a nuts powder.
Ah, nuts powder. Okay, I like it.
Really? Cool.
I mainly like this. I don't know about this. It tastes a bit funny.
You just like this one without any sauce, right?
Well, I'll try one more time with sauce. Yeah, I go now to the wash.
What about the luggage?
I'll just take it off and put it back on. That was very nice lunch. The hotel was just there, but I really want Frankie washed. It's so long overdue, but there just hasn't been an opportunity. Every day I'm thinking, okay, let's try today. But I cannot stand it any longer, as Frankie is so incredibly dirty. So there's a car wash here, so I'm gonna see if they can please wash Frankie. Where is it then? Ah, here. Hi. is Kawas? Ni hao. Yeah? Ni hao. Holland. Galaan. Galaan. Yeah, this I will take it off. Yeah. Yeah. Look how clean Frankie is. Oh, makes me happy. In hotel. Yeah, thank you. It's nice to meet you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay. Frankie is clean again. Anyway, during lunch I consulted with both Moritz and also with Bing about what to do about my rear suspension. Basically, our conclusion with the three of us is I can't really do much at all. You know, with the front forks, if that happens, it's not so difficult, it's just one seal. But Moritz said, like, now that the rear shock is leaking like this, it's not going to be just one seal, and you need to open up the whole suspension. Even Moritz doesn't do that, you know. He's like, you need to let this done by a specialist, by a suspension specialist. You need particular tools, you know, you need to do something with it under pressure or something. It's just not something that any mechanic can do, you know. There's no chance, because here in Xinjiang you will not find any suspension specialists. They will all be in the east of China, where all the mega cities are. But in this province of China, you're not going to find any specialist that can work on suspension. So besides the factor of finding the right parts, which you also not find here in China, it's also a matter of finding someone who can actually do the job. And this will not change as soon as I cross into Mongolia, because the west part of Mongolia, I think there's going to be nothing there either. So it just means that I'm not in a great spot here. The conclusion is I just keep on riding. I mean, hopefully I won't really do damage to the spring, you know, or the inner parts of the suspension. But basically I can keep on riding. It's just I have to be extra careful when there's holes in the road, you know. Like, it will not be good if I start hitting potholes really hard. But as long as I either ride on tarmac or on, you know, dirt without massive potholes, I should be able to make it until Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, and then I can properly, you know, do something about it. Bing should be already here somewhere. Ah, here. It just means that all the way until Ulaanbaatar, I don't know how far it is, but it's still very far, maybe 2,000 kilometers, something like that. That's just kind of like a rough estimate of the distance it will take me to get there. I'll just have to do it without a rear suspension. I guess that's just life, you know? That was it for today. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't a very long ride. The only thing is now I had Frankie washed, and in the next ride we're gonna go off-road for the longest stretch on this trip so far. Anyway, but that's for the next episode. I really hope you liked this one. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below, and then I'll see you in the next video. So in today's episode of Crazy Things I've Never Seen Anywhere in the World, but in a Chinese hotel, This is a nice hotel room, right? I got an executive office desk, and then look at this. These are condoms for men's much better time, and this, it's called a G-Dolphin. G-Dolphin, fun for all. You can only open the box if you scan the QR code and pay. It's just sitting on like my office table.